Yeah, right, exactly.
Now we have mics that don't, yeah, they're turned off, but we still have mics.
They're on.
I know, but I'm saying they're 90% of the time they're turned off by the other person steps up to the podium. They all turn it off as they leave.
There should be a,
Yes, right.
You might have to-
color on it, showing when it's on or off.
There should be a piece of tape that just keeps it on, so they leave it up there.
We were live on YouTube.
We're live on YouTube. Okay, it's 7:30. We're gonna start on time. Oh, wait, no, go ahead. If you want
I just
to.
got like once it.
Yeah, we'll give them that. We'll be starting in a few minutes, those of you on the internet. I do not want to start the meeting and then have Pascal miss the Pledge of Allegiance and then start a conspiracy theory that she read this Pledge of Allegiance.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, we have.
Oh my God, we get so far. I just
Yeah,
think
the
it's so
Clark time, they don't want you to know, NIAC trustee won't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. All right, we good?
Yeah. We're here.
Everybody, good evening. Welcome. My name is Joe Ray, I'm the mayor of Nyack. Welcome to this meeting on November 13th. This is the regular meeting of the Nyack Village Board of Trustees. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A couple things I want to start the meeting talking about. The first thing I wanted to do was to take a moment. We had a terrible tragedy take place in Nyack about a week and a half ago. So I'd like to just have a moment of silence for the Wright family. Anita Lamb Wright was a beloved member of our community. Their son has been was performed for us at our 9/11 ceremony. It's a wonderful Nyack family, and what happened to them was just terrible and tragic and awful. So please join me in a moment of silence in their memory as we start the meeting. Okay, thank you. We're not usually that quiet. We were taking a moment of silence for the one who walked in, not knowing why we were standing in some sort of meditative state. I want to also acknowledge we had Veterans Day this week. We had a really wonderful Veterans Day. There was a wonderful ceremony at the mall, which would have been at the Mount Moore Cemetery, but it was too cold, so we went inside. But we had many veterans there. They were able to talk about who they were. It's a great ceremony. They run every year. I want to thank Bill Batson and the Mount Moore Cemetery Board for putting that together. That was very nice. I had one of the most wholesome experiences I've ever had in Nyack, which was on Veterans Day morning. I went to our Veterans Square, named for Hezekiah Easter, who's a veteran and a deputy mayor of Nyack, first African-American elected official of Nyack. So I went down to Hezekiah Easter Square, where the Girl Scouts sold me hot chocolate to raise money for veterans who are homeless. Like, that was as small town a moment as you could possibly have. And I want to thank the Girl Scouts for coming to Nyack and selling hot chocolate and raising the money for the veterans. I think they raised thousands and thousands of dollars, I think through donations more than the hot chocolate. But the hot chocolate was good. And I still have a Rice Krispies treat that I did not eat. I forgot about, which is the best kind of food. The food you forget about and then you get to eat after the meeting.
Didn't bring it.
I didn't bring it. It's downstairs in my jacket. I wanted to also take a moment to thank all the members of the local planning committee for the New York Forward project. As you know, we were able to secure a $4.5 million grant from New York State, part of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative. That was in March, and since March, we had to organize a committee and we had to solicit proposals, review the proposals, screen them out, and ultimately make a recommendation to the state for funding. We recommended about 6.5 million, which is about what they want us to recommend. They're then going to fund about 4.5 out of the 6.5. There are a number of really wonderful projects on that list that did get funded. We hope we want them all to get funded, but that's obviously the sum's going to get knocked off by the state. But we did put up a great slate, and there was a lot of hard work by the members of the committee, as well as by our consulting firm, as well as by our representatives from New York State who were helping us all the way along the way. And I won't single out anybody from the local planning committee. They were all wonderful, and I'm grateful to all of them for their participation. I also wanted to congratulate, we had some ribbon cuttings this week. I see members of the Chamber of Commerce that were at the ribbon cuttings with us for We Love Bread up on North Broadway, and Yes Yes Delivery, which is a virtual company that does deliveries, very hyper local delivery service for furniture and things like that, deliveries, that sort of thing. So it was a very busy couple of weeks, and want to remind you we're going into the holiday season. I think our next meeting is after Thanksgiving, right? Our next meeting is
December 1st.
December 1st. It'll be our reorganization meeting on December 1st, so it'll be after. So let me just say that for the record, to get on the record, that between now and then, we will have the launch of the holiday shopping season, and we will also have the holiday lights, which are on Friday, December 5th, 6th? 5th, Friday, December 5th, which is the holiday lights that the chamber does in Easter Square. That's always a fun night. There is rumored to be a visit from Santa and various other things and whatnot. And that same night happens to be the first Friday of the month, so there will be the Pride Rockland Pride will be having their night market, and they'll be closing down, if we approve it, part of Jackson Avenue, otherwise known as
Bayard Rustin Way.
Bayard Rustin. Yes, thank you. I'm blanking. Bayard Rustin. I had, of course, I got Jackson off the top of my head, and I couldn't remember Bayard Rustin. That's the backwards. And also that night will be the Art Collective. Nike Art Collective will be having its show that they have the first Friday of every month. Well, they have the show ongoing in the room next to a Burger Loft, but they have a reception on the first Friday of every month. That's always worth going to see. That's when they debut their new collection for the month or for the 2 months. So we're going to get very busy, and since we're up here, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Anybody have anything else they want to add?
Yes, we also had an election that just happened,
Oh.
so congratulations, Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
trustee Carlin, trustee Rio B. Taylor. It's always a pleasure to serve with you guys, so let's keep going. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that passed. Yeah, I forgot about that. So did a lot of people, I think. Anything from anybody else? All right, let's get started. I think we're gonna lead off. Was that who?
Yes, I have one.
Was that,
One thing,
one thing? Oh, please.
we were together, you were there also last week,
Oh, yes.
the fundraiser to Music to Mend for the families from Night Plaza, we raised $14,500. Very happy about that.
And we gave the check last week.
Yeah, to the
Bishop
bishop, at St. John
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle, so that was really
That
great.
was nice, yeah, and that was a wonderful job by the people who organized, Susan Rowling, and also
Brianne and David Budway.
David Budway from Maureen's,
Yeah.
who did all the music stuff, which was a really fun night. That was a really great night. All right, anybody else? Is Brittany Araya? Brittany here? Is it you? All right, Brittany. We're gonna start. We have a proclamation to make that for Brittany, and I'm gonna read it out, and then we'll give it to her. And oh, is she here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't see there was a child. I'm far behind and I'm old and I can't see very well.
Come on.
And she has oh my God, this is wonderful. All right, everybody come up in front so we can get a picture of it.
Yes.
And I'm gonna, before we go up there, I'm just gonna read what the proclamation says, so you should know what this is all about.
Okay.
The Village of Nyack proudly recognizes individuals whose courage, resilience, and contributions uplift and inspire our community. And whereas Zayla, am I pronouncing that correct? Zayla, or I've only seen it written down. A remarkably young resident was diagnosed with acute liver failure, just 10 months old, and endured nearly a year of hospitalization, defying medical expectations by surviving without the need for a transplant. And whereas despite the early challenges she faced, Zayla has made extraordinary progress learning to walk and talk after being told she might never do either, demonstrating a spirit of perseverance and strength that serves as a beacon of hope. And whereas her journey has inspired the founding of Not Your Disability, Inc., a nonprofit organization dedicated to celebrating inclusivity and empowering children and families of all abilities through community events, advocacy, and awareness. And whereas Zayla's story reminds us all of the power of determination, the importance of inclusive communities, and the profound impact one life can have on many. Now, therefore, we encourage all residents to join us in honoring Zayla's courage and the mission of Not Your Disability, Inc. as we continue to build a community where every individual is celebrated for their unique strengths and contributions in witness whereof. And we have the full signal. So this is for you. This is to thank you for being such an inspiration to so many people. Okay, this is certificate. There we go. So this is you can put in the folder, and I love your tiara. That's the crown. The crown or tiara? Which one? Tiara. Thank you for clarifying. My daughter's out of her tiara phase, so I don't remember the distinction. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for being such an inspiration for so many people. Okay, and we're gonna take a picture. Everybody, let's get down to. Get down to.
You want us to get down?
Oh, yeah, well, that's the
Do you want me to take a picture with your phone? I can try. It's not your fault. So Sharon, hold on. She failed to get up.
All right, thank you very much. Just one more time in front of you. So seal.
You feel happy. Great job.
That picture. Look there.
So sweet.
There's one more thing I'm gonna bring that, I'm gonna go run down and get this started with the meeting. So give me 1 minute to go back upstairs. But thank you very much, Al. Thank you and thank you very much. We also have not just a certificate, we ordered this year because we want to give something special for people that whenever that we give these certificates away, it's a pin that says something along, thank you for your service. And I have one and I forgot to attach it. It's in my office. So we're gonna call up the people from the Depew House that want to give a presentation. Why don't you come up, and while you're coming up and getting ready, I'll be running downstairs and coming back with them.
Okay.
So see you.
You took that. Should I write it on this? That was great. You want to send it to me?
Your name? Yeah, sure.
Look, of course. And you're kind of like. Yeah, I know. Could people wait? Because I suppose. That's something we have to take another person, not because. Otherwise. The one that's. Unless you want them that side. These people. Go down the back. Yeah. Hi, how are you? How's Red? Good, good. And how's Scott? He's good. Good, please say hello to for me.
I
Give
will,
him my
thanks.
love.
Yeah, thanks so.
Thanks. Thank you. I don't think say that.
Check, Becky, check to see if the microphone is on.
Hello?
It sounds like.
I can't tell you.
It's on.
It's on?
Yes.
Presence here it is.
Hi, come on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Becky Holt Fine, and I've been a resident of Nyack for 20 years. And I'm here representing a group called the Friends of the Depew House. And I'm really grateful, like I said, thank you for this. This is just an informational purview for you to know what our little group has been doing. At the end of September, there was a call for people to come to a library board meeting to learn about possibility of what to do with the Depew House. And I attended that meeting. There were over 60 people there, I believe. I didn't count, but the room was full. And a circulation of a list was going around, and about 35 people signed up saying they wanted to do more to keep the Depew House within the library's ownership. The group that has been meeting, we've met 3 or 4 times, up to 25 of us have met. It includes historical society members, tenants of the building, library trustees, and village trustee Joe, and other citizens like myself who are very passionate about historic preservation. So we have come up with a vision and 3 goals for our group. And what it is, our intention is to preserve, protect, and ensure that the Depew House stays under public stewardship for historic exhibits, archives, and community education. Our intention and our goal is to mitigate costs, cost effectiveness, and sustainability. We're looking at ways to make it a sustainable community asset without financial loss, but being a surplus. And how we will increase support through fundraising, grant campaigns, increased usage, and make it a self-sustaining property. Part of our preservation plan is to designate it on the National Register of Historic Places. And that is just a benefit. It is just to make it be known that this is an historic property that has value, it has age, it has significance in the community. It doesn't impose any restrictions on private owners. In fact, the Tappan Zee Playhouse over there was on the National Register. It's gone. It was demolished. It's no longer on the register. But anyway, it's just prestige. And it also gives eligibility for state and federal funding, historic rehabilitation tax credits, and there's several examples of buildings in the village, as you know, the John Hopper House, the Ross Hand House, and the John Green House, among others. We were very encouraged to find out that the comprehensive plan for NIAC supports protecting historic assets, supporting state and federal historic designations, and working with preservation advocates and educating the public, promoting arts, culture, and history. So that was very encouraging for us because that's what this group stands for. The cost management sustainability plan includes applying for tax exemptions where qualified to get a reduction in the property tax, because this is a nonprofit that owns properties. Also, with the National Register of Historic Preservation designation, we would be qualified for state and federal historic preservation tax credits. So if we did some major historic preservation, we could work to get some credits back for the payment of that. The plan is to make capital improvements to reduce maintenance costs and repair expenses. It's an old house. Obviously, if we bring it up to a certain level, there'll be less unexpected things happening. It'll be up to a better level. And also we want to understand what the true cost is of running that house from the library. We want to know the share of their salaries, the time that's spent keeping that house moving. So we're looking at capital improvements and reducing the operating costs. We've identified a number of funding resources, historic preservation grants and local fundraising. We've identified potential partners, including the Hopper House, John Green House. Individuals in this room are interested in collaborating with us. We've asked the library, one of the things we've asked the library is if they could designate someone to work with us on our National Register of Historic Places application, and that has already been done. They've assigned someone and that has begun already. We want to consider the possibilities for future use, potential use by the library of the Depew House. We have a lot of ideas. We're really just in the beginning stages, but we've done a lot of brainstorming and want to include more people from the community thinking, envisioning what could that space be for the community. So we've hoped to grow our partnership and involve other history organizations of the county. And there's a proposed timeline, which I won't go into because we don't have that much time, but it's in your sheet and you can ask questions when I finish. But NIAC really does rally behind historic preservation. The Edward Hopper House was boarded up in 1967. And Win Perry, who's 92 right now, was one of the guys pulling off the wood and starting to build. So that has become a thriving cultural hub that we all look forward to, knowing that it's there. And then the John Green House, which you've supported, I know with the funding, that's a project that's going on right now. So the community really does support historic preservation. We want this to stay part of the streetscape, part of the community. There's a potential for education, for collaboration. It's a unique historical farmland property of the Depew family, which was a big name in the history of this town. It can increase tourism, increase awareness, and ultimately, if you know your history, you know who you are. So in conclusion, it's really, we want to preserve the house in a cost-effective way that's attainable, relieving the tax burden, gaining national landmark designation for the benefit of library patrons, visitors to the village, so that they can experience history in new and unique ways. So thank you. I just wanted to give that information to you, and if you have any questions. Oh, one last thing. The number one reason for preserving the Depew House, in the words of Win Perry, is it's beautiful. So sweet when he said that. So any questions? Please put them.
You've talked about fundraising being explored as a way of trying to mitigate some of the costs. I will start by saying, I think what you're doing is wonderful, and you've got it up and running very, very quick, which is terrific. I'm glad that it did not become a historic preservation versus the library, which is what I was worried about for a while. And I was worried about the temperature going up on this in a bit. It doesn't seem to have happened. I did, and I put something out this week to just reassure people that you're looking to make it so that it maintains a sort of a public interest. And I think a lot of people are also concerned about the fact that it might get knocked down. And I want to reassure people that it'd be very, very, very unlikely to get knocked down, given the zoning that controls that property, that most likely if a private person bought it, they would make it a single family home, or they might make it a 3-family home, which is what the maximum they're allowed under the zoning. But I realize that you have higher aspirations for it than that. My question becomes, knocking the taxes back a little bit is barely moving the needle. The historic preservation, making you eligible for grants, I think is a good thing, and the ability to get grants is a good thing. But we also have to think about the library. And the library is incurring has a debt problem of its own, and there's $1 million maybe or so in this house if it got sold for them, that they could retire some of their debt and help out their finances. And I'm just a little worried about them. Has there been any thought and movement toward creating a nonprofit to buy the building from the library and then do whatever it is you want to do with it? That could you raise that kind of money? Do you think that has that been even raised as a possibility?
Appreciate what you're saying, and of course, we want to make sure the library is doing fine. We're in complete cooperation with the library. We care for the library. As far as I can speak to the grants for when if the building's designated historic preservation, you can apply for lots of grants. I have experience since 2021 working via Zoom with my hometown in Maine, and we had a derelict building that was going to be knocked down and turned into a parking lot. And we've raised $800,000, and we're waiting for a grant for $250,000 when the government comes back on, and it's almost on. So that's, all this is.
To reconstruct or to buy, to acquire?
No, and what we're doing is reconstructing and turning it into a cultural heritage center for the county. What I'm saying is that we can invest in the building, we can apply with the library for these grants. I can't speak to the finances of the library. I know that they have a plan, and there's Brian Murrell is here, and he can take any questions after I'm done speaking about that.
Okay.
So you're not going to be a 501c3?
We're very new. We just started meeting in the end of September, and we talked about it. We were talking in the sense of let's see what we can do just as this great group of passionate people first. We definitely have thought about it, but we're not needing to yet, is what I mean. I mean, that could be a possibility, for sure.
I would recommend it only because I think of in the situation with the John Greenhouse. One, being your own 501c3 does also open you up to state funds if you're in the state financial system. The Department of Parks always gives out funds for historic preservation. State senators, assembly people also do the same thing, Congress people. So to Joe's point, I think this is really great because you're right. This is absolutely in the spirit of NIAC. We do preserve as much as we can, and I love the idea of doing that. But I also know the Hopper House and the John Greenhouse, they've had to set up their own sort of financial system in order to do it. My concern is relying I welcome the cooperation with the library. I just don't want you to be overly reliant on that in case the library, has to deal with their debt surplus. So that's just my recommendation. Because I think that in the spirit of preserving it, it should, if your group is looking to really pursue this, it might be in your interest to own it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is become a nonprofit in order to own it, not become a nonprofit because they are a nonprofit and they own it. We can't we can't take that away from them.
I think what she's saying is you should become a nonprofit because it creates a lot more flexibility in terms of fundraising. Because otherwise any fundraising you do has to go to the library in order to be tax qualified for tax purposes. This is just advice. There's nothing official about this other than the fact that my observation, I think that Pascal shares, is that it would be good for you to have an independent organization that can do fundraising and also could be a vehicle for some of the things that you want to do. It could be, The problem is it's tough to get grants to acquire something. It's much easier to get grants to do the reconstruction, which means whoever owns the building is gonna have to be the one that applies for the grants. And I just have some concerns about, because the first time I heard about this, I heard about in the context of the library's financial situation. And I think we've got to be cognizant of the fact that we can't put the burden entirely on the library to maintain this if it's going to cause, I don't want to see them have to cut services or have to cut jobs or anything like that to make their expenses work out. But that's just advice, and I think what you're doing is great, and thank you for the update on it. You have the right people involved with it, who have had experience doing this to be able to work with you, including Lynn, who's a village treasurer, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Any other questions or thoughts?
Yeah, Becca, I just want to say thank you very much for the short and concise summary of the proposal.
Sure.
Talking about a nonprofit overseeing this, we also have the Historical Society of the Nyacs, right? They are a 501c corporation.
Yes, yes.
So they could also be taking the lead, especially since they actually are there
Yes.
in the Depew House.
Yes.
So I know that you've spoken with them, and there are a lot. So there are ways of doing this. Not setting up a brand new 501c, but utilizing the
Exactly.
501c that already exists with the Historic Society of the Nyacs.
Thank you for mentioning that, Joe. Yeah.
And there's a lot of cross-board membership, like Win Perry, he's like Batson, he's on every board and involved in this stuff, and so he knows what he's got sort of hands in everything as they all move
He's
forward.
really supportive of this too, by the way.
Oh,
Oh, Batson is, yeah. I figured.
Did I say something? Goodness.
No, he's-
We'll get him on the board.
As we are, we're all supportive of this. We all think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Just concerns about the money. As always, we're always concerned about the money.
But I think the library and the Friends of the Depew House, they're working hand in hand on this. I think there's a common goal, and that's very important.
Yeah, right now they are working on getting the tax exemptions that they're qualified for, and that's just one step. But no, this is a process, and it's a passion project. So
Right.
we're going to stay behind it.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really hope
Thank
this all
you.
works out.
And for those of you who are, she did a summary of what's the presentation they have. The presentation they provided to us is in the packet, so you can find it on nyac.gov if you pull up the packet. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time and everything. I hope it all works out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get some. Let's just we'll go over the minutes and then we'll go get to some of the resolutions, some of the action items. Oh, public comment. Oh, that's right. We have sorry, public comments on any topic. Yeah, please come up. I'm sorry, I looked right over that.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, public comment this way. It's always this
You
way.
always-
Stand up and talk to us.
Yeah, don't.
It's public, it's members of the public talking, not talking to members of the public.
Oh, I see.
Talking to us.
Right, last time I was here a few weeks ago, this is gonna be short, I had this horrible complaint, my neighborhood was being ruined. The noise, it was so noisy that, because Nyack Hospital upgraded their emergency services, that's great, but the ambulances, the sirens were ruining my life there. So I came here and I told you about it, and then, couple weeks after that, nothing had happened, but a couple weeks after that, suddenly I said to my wife, is it really quiet out there? And then I heard that a trustee had gone and paid a visit. I won't mention any names, Joe, but someone had gone and talked to them. And I don't know what you said, but the difference has been amazing. It's just quiet now. I went over to talk to the drivers who were pulling in, and I said, what happened? Where's the sirens? And they said, oh, we're doing it different now. We're just flashing a lot of lights, and I thank them, and I thank you so much for what you did. The improvement is unbelievable, night and day.
I'm really glad to hear that. And I wasn't aware that there actually been any changes made. I wasn't aware that Joe had gone to talk to people from the hospital. I'd actually had a meeting with the head of the emergency department where I brought the same issue up with them. And he agreed that sometimes the ambulances, certain ambulances, it's not all of them, but there are certain ambulance companies that like having the sirens going wherever they are. They have the sirens going all the way, no matter where they are, they have them up. So they had conversation. I'm glad that that had worked out. And thank you, Joe, for going in. I wasn't aware that you'd done that. So that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in and giving us the good news
Yeah.
about something that you come to tell us the bad news about before. That rarely happens. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. What I brought them, when I went to go down, and my apologies for delaying your presentation, was that we have pins that we've made up, and we only give the pins to the people that get the certificates. Like, nobody else gets the pins unless they get it. They're just, so if you have one, it means you were honored for your service to the village. And somebody like, I don't have one. I don't wear one. You have to, you will eventually probably get one, but you'll not, we hand them out very parsimoniously. So she deserved it and she got it, as did her mom, for the work that they've done. All right, let's get to anybody else for public comments on any topic. There will be opportunities for public comment when we get to individual resolutions. You had said there was somebody from the library that you said was here? Brian, did you want to address anything about this, or?
No.
Okay, you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just wanting to give you the opportunity. You don't have to. I'm not putting you on the spot. I just want.
Library meeting on Monday.
Okay, all right, you do your talking then. All right, good. All right, let's do.
Steven is here.
I say Steve. Oh, that's right. Steven's here also from the board. Yes, of course. Whenever I see you here, I think of you as sustainability. I forget that you wear like bats and all these hats that you're involved in all these organizations.
Sticking around for the tree donation.
The tree donation.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the things that people are sticking around for.
Yeah.
First, let me at least get the minutes out of the way. Adoption of minutes. Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes of the meeting of 10/23?
Motion.
Any comments, questions, or changes to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. All right, action items. Which action item have we got people here for? Because I'll skip to that one. I don't want to make people wait.
Right.
It's the donation from Subaru.
Page 4.
It's a donation from Subaru. Is Subaru actually here?
No, it's Steve Sia.
See if you talk about the, all right, so let's do 7-3, and then also I think they're here for,
The chamber.
the chamber here is for the street fair dates, which is 7.9.
7.9.
7.9, all right.
Okay, so,
And no one's here for penguin plunge for right now. All right, so let's do resolution 7.3, a resolution accepting a donation from Subaru Distributors Corp. for the 2025 spring tree plant project. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, you wanna come up and tell us what this is about?
Yeah, real quickly, as you know, we have the Nyack Tree Project has 2 planting days each year, one in the fall, one in the spring. We were able to establish a relationship with Subaru Distributors. They send volunteers and they essentially pay for the planting in the spring. I think this is the 3rd year in a row that they've done it, and it's a great relationship. The volunteers that they have come during the workday, they help plant, and they're a great group of volunteers, very dedicated. And it's just another way that we've tried to offset the cost of tree planting. You may remember we got a $29,000 grant in a partnership with NicePack. And so this is another way that we could just do more with less. So
All right.
I just wanted
well,
to-
that's wonderful.
How many trees did it cover? The 4th?
This recent, I think it was around 25.
And they put their little tags on there too, right? A super
Yeah.
little thing on there.
We try to give them some acknowledgement. The tags don't last very long.
But the trees last a long time. The tags are temporary. The trees are forever, or more or less. All right, thank you for the flavor of that.
Thank you.
Any comments or questions? Steve, could you get me the point person that did this with you from Subaru? I'd like to send them a note to thank them on top of this. So please,
That was
just email me that. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Nobody's opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Anytime people want to give us money, we accept it wholeheartedly and with great enthusiasm. All right, let's skip ahead to 7.9, resolution 25-196 to approve street closure permits for the Chamber of Commerce of the Chamber of Commerce and Acada annual street fairs. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
They have asked for the dates of April 12th, September 13th, May 17th, July, oh, I see, and then, okay, we go back to Acada, May 17th, July 12th, and October 11th. Any comments or questions? I want to commend the chamber is put together a really useful survey. They gave us they gave us the presentation on it, I think at our last meeting. And they've since then given 2 presentations for the Nye Business Council, which included a handful of business owners to get the updates. It was a very insightful study and survey, and had a number of very thoughtful suggestions. And I look forward to seeing some of them implemented as we go forward into 2026. Any comments?
Yeah, I have a comment. Just to note that the 9/13 is the second day of Rosh Hashanah, which is a Jewish holiday. I mean, don't think it's going to be a issue, at least not with me. But it might be an issue with people that observe the holiday.
We did, we did have discussions, and I know we spoke to you as well, and some of the board members of the Jewish faith made the distinction that it was the second night, and they felt that, or the second day of the observance, and they felt that to make a decision that would preclude the event was not necessary in their minds, and they felt very strongly about it, because initially we had actually considered not having it. So it was a board discussion taking into consideration that important observance.
Okay. As I said, I'll be there.
All right, any other comments or questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, then we'll go back to action item 7.1 to accept the audit. It's resolution 25-188. Oh, we're gonna hit 200, aren't we, by the end of the year? 200 resolutions. Resolution 188, accepting the audited voucher summary. Can I get on the table?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All opposed? Anybody? Motion carries unanimously. 7.2, resolution 25-189, authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance improvements in the sidewalks and crosswalks in connection with safe routes to school. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
Andy, just give us the quick update what this is about.
There was a paperwork mix-up. The board has seen the resolution almost exactly like this before. Our bond counsel advised us we need to do it again.
So we've already talked about this.
Yeah.
It's not a new bond.
No.
It sounded familiar. That's why I asked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So another 4.4 million we're borrowing. All right. This is the original 4.4. Okay. So we're fixing a typo or something like that. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.3, we did. 7.4, approving the submission of unpaid taxes to Rockland County for re-levy.
Motion.
Second.
This is what happens when people don't pay their taxes. We don't chase them. We give it to the county chases them, and then they take a piece of it, I assume, and then give us the rest. They take any of
Do
it?
they take
They
it?
make us whole.
They make us whole.
They
They
give us the money.
don't take it, they don't take
a
it,
look for it.
they don't take a VIG, they don't take
This is
a,
one of the best things the county of Rockland does for us.
Right.
all right, good for them.
It's
They don't
really-
they don't let their beaks in the unpaid taxes pot.
It's a fabulous service.
All right, fantastic. Well, our thanks to the county for doing that.
Yes.
Any other comments or questions?
Nope. Done.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Resolution 7.5, resolution 25-192, authorizing the refund of towing fees for vehicles removed during the Halloween celebration. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
Yeah, this basically was that there was some confusion about what the street closures were going to be during Halloween. We had some miscommunications about when the streets would be closed. And go ahead, Andy, what else?
Couple cars.
The village unfortunately was a party to an inaccurate parking directive. So we felt partially responsible for these 2 tickets that were issued to people who thought they were allowed to park where they parked, but in fact were not.
And at least one of them did make a donation of the money he got back to, did he make it to the families?
I have no
I
idea.
think it was the families. He sent me an email because he had reached out to me about it. So this was nice. We made good on the fact that we kind of screwed up and they had incurred some towing fees as a result. So the cars were all okay. Luckily, they weren't damaged in the tows. This could have gotten worse. Any other comments, questions?
Yeah, I have a comment about, I received some complaints from people, for the Halloween, closures. People that have handicap stickers and they have hard time parking and then walking all the way over and parking in the RP, the handicap. I'm just wondering if we can make accommodations, for next year. They maybe contact you and get a pass to go through the, certain times, obviously, the police line to get over to the RP parking lot so they can park. I'm sure not everybody's gonna do it, but people that really have very, harsh disabilities or issues that they can somehow clean their cars and park much closer to the bridge.
We could also do is if we have our shuttle next year,
Oh.
we could do trips we could pick up people on demand and take them to the parade
Even better.
from wherever they are. So they don't have to drive at all. That's a good use of the shuttle, of Hoppy, the shuttle
Happy.
that we're gonna have.
But one way or the other, I
That's
think
what the county's paying for.
But that's a good thing to bring up. I'm glad. that
Yeah,
you
that's
did
good.
that.
We did take away handicap parking in the lot next to Easter Square. But we do replace it. We do put out handicap only parking, labels so that I think it was the row right next
We
to it.
create temporary handicap spots to replace the ones that are locked.
But they can't get to it once the streets are closed. Yeah,
Once the streets, I mean, first of all, I just have to say that this event is very complex. Our DPW, the police department, everybody gets together to organize it. The logistics are challenging. It went off really well. I'm super proud of our team. It had to stay very late at night, cleaning up all the barriers and so on. I think it went pretty darn smoothly. We had great weather, wonderful parade, and I'm super happy with it. We're happy to talk with people who are having a parking issue to try to help them understand better where to go. Maybe we can communicate that. If they can introduce themselves ahead of time, we can help them that way. Once the street is closed, it's closed. Like there's literally people walking in the street as part of floats and parade. And that's a hard closure. We had people who were blocked all over the place who couldn't go through closed streets because that's the way the police have set up the security system. So I don't see doing like one-off, like you can drive down a closed street as an option that the police.
Maybe a specific time up until.
But that exists. I mean, that's the whole point.
But it's not within a couple hours of the actual parade start. I mean, the logistical complexities of closing that many streets for that long a period of time is really something. It's in some ways much tougher than the street fairs because you have to put the barriers up all throughout the route, which is not something that the village has to do when it's doing the street fairs. But we'll get the word out. We'll try to figure out some accommodation for people to get them because we could get people to spots where it wouldn't require driving on a closed road if we had.
Right, well, the RV lot is open until the village lot where the handicap spots are is open. It's not.
You have to approach from the south on Franklin.
You
right?
come in.
You gotta come north on Franklin and then on RP.
Franklin gets closed.
Eventually, yeah.
And Main Street gets closed. But long before that, the parking lanes are closed because they have to put barriers up for the pedestrians.
Right.
So you can still drive down the street, you just can't park on it.
Right, but you could turn into the RP lot?
Yes.
Right, until the streets are actually closed.
Right.
Which is right when the parade
starts.
starts.
Parking wherever they wanna drive.
We'll talk, we'll figure out a system, maybe they could, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Well, what we should do is just get the word out that this is how if you want to use the handicap spots, here's the route to get there. That's another way to do it. Because there are spots available to them. I don't know if they were taken. I don't remember noticing one way or the other, whether there were cars parked there during the movie, which is when they would have been there at the beginning of the movie. But yeah, your point's well taken, because I saw that same complaint on Facebook, and you want to try to be, some things are just unavoidable because the logistics of the event, but we'll try to figure out a way to mitigate it if we can. Did we vote on this?
No, we have to now.
We didn't vote on, all right, all in favor of the towing fees getting reimbursed?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.6, resolution 2025-193, approving the appointment of Gabrielle,
Gabriel.
Gabriel, is it Gabriel or Gabrielle? Because I've seen it now both ways.
There, that's Gabriel. Yeah.
Gabriel, to Associate Justice Court Clerk. Welcome, Gabriel. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
All right, any comments or questions?
Wait.
Yeah, so this is someone new?
Yeah. what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, that is what I know.
So, not that long ago, both our court clerks resigned in favor of other opportunities.
Mhm.
And recently we hired a new court clerk who is wonderful, Esther. And she needs an assistant, so we're gonna get back up to the usual staffing of 2 people in that office.
Okay,
Gabriel is the solution to solving that problem.
okay.
Any other comments or questions?
Guess we'll meet them. It's just sometimes when that happens, like, I don't even know everybody that's in here, and I think it's really important to kind of like see a face and I could be walking by this person, not even know, so.
Well, thankfully
have to
there's a
figure that
holiday
out.
party coming up, so.
Oh, is
Good to
there?
see everybody. I was actually gonna ask that.
Yeah, is
The
there?
new business.
Well, there is that.
We'll do something.
It's at a party.
I have something, I'll talk about at the end. I'll talk about it at the end. I'll suggest. I have a suggestion. Which doesn't cost the village any money, so it's a suggestion that,
Well, there's gonna be a village, is the village gonna have a holiday party?
I think Gabriel.
Okay, so let's finish this and
No,
let's get
no.
on to that. I
Alright.
didn't know about
that's the
that.
most
No, that's
important.
Okay,
easy.
yeah.
We don't do.
All right.
We don't do that here.
All right, let's appoint Gabriel.
All in favor?
All-
I'm sorry. I'm
No.
sorry.
As she said, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
I am so sorry. I didn't
So-
mean to overstep.
What's next? Resolution 77, 2025-194 to award a contract for High Avenue drainage improvements to Tony Casale Inc. Can I get on the table?
Motion.
Second.
So we got 15 bids on this, and this was the lowest responsible bid.
Yes,
All right, any comments or questions?
Yeah, are we getting funding for this grant?
the federal government
Right.
through the state, this is disaster money. Going back to, I'm not
Exactly what
sure
it is.
which
Yeah.
big storm a couple of years ago.
Okay,
Did some serious damage to the drainage system that runs through High to Catherine Street over to Main Street.
okay,
This money is about $700,000 received in our bank account. The project is worth about 400, I think. I'm looking at this right. It's 5 and change. Looks like we're gonna have plenty of money left over, and we'll look to put it to good use.
what are we gonna do with it?
Put it to
The
good use.
construction will start sometime over the winter.
Okay,
After you award this bid, we let the contractor know, we set up a pre-construction meeting. They map out the timelines for
The other part of it.
when they're gonna kind of bring all their equipment and materials into the village, where they're gonna stage their equipment and materials. And they essentially start the construction
are they
process.
digging up all of High Street?
That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
No, it's a drainage pipe that runs down the side of High Avenue.
Okay,
It's largely on the north side. It will involve a opening of the road on the north side, not the entirety of the road, but the edge of the road.
but all the way
Which is
down,
where the gutter line
Is
is
the-
more or
the
less.
gutter
Right.
line.
Did we just pave that road?
Yes, with paved recently, yeah.
Oh,
That's why he's saying don't.
yeah, no, yeah. I get it.
All right, any other comments or questions?
I guess,
Well,
Yep, good.
so,
Oh, yeah.
because I live on
Yeah.
High, just trying to have, an idea of how far High and how much of High are we talking about?
So it's roughly, if you think of High Avenue it's sort of, it almost has a little flat area at the top
Right.
and then it descends. Right about where that flat area is where the project will begin. In the vicinity of there's a big pipe that actually comes all the way from Haven, goes under Sickles and it comes out of High and then goes to Catherine and Maine. And that pipe between High and Catherine collapsed. There were sinkholes and so on. And so what this project is to do is take water that used to go on that sort of southbound pipe straight to the Nyack Brook off of Main Street. It's gonna go down High Avenue instead and tie into pipes on Franklin, North Franklin.
so it's going all the way
So
down.
it's- The wonderful thing about this project is we're diverting water from a part of Nyack Brook. Water that comes all the way from the region of the hospital, Haven, North Midland, Sickles, all those storm drains over there have been draining kind of over into Nyack Brook on the hillside.
Mhm.
where Catherine Street kind of comes in there. And so that water, instead of going to Nyack Brook there, so it's supercharging it, will go down to Franklin and make its way to the Hudson River. Hopefully in a more, in a safer way.
Okay, so the question is all of High.
To High Avenue to Franklin.
Instead of going here.
Yes. To
Right.
answer your question,
Midland,
yes.
Franklin.
Right, I
Midland
think
to
it'd be
Franklin.
kind
It's
of-
not going all the way to Midland. It's,
I wonder if there's any old pipes on my street. that
I'm
they
sure
can
Where it
go.
goes down, there's a dip, and
I
from
wonder
there
if
it
there's
goes down to
anything,
Franklin.
'cause
Roughly.
every so often, like twice a year, we have to pump the bottom
Any more comments or questions?
drain.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion
That's
car-
gonna be
any
our
opposed?
time.
Okay, all carries unanimously. 7.8, resolution 25-195. Approving a permit application from Mora Park for the 19th annual Penguin Plunge. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
And we love this, and not because she brings us free t-shirts, that has nothing to do with it.
No.
This is something we do because it's a lot of fun. Who's gonna
I
jump in the water with
I
me?
had some.
Who's jumping in the water? Anybody else? Anybody else wanna do
I
it?
mean,
No,
with
like,
like
no,
bathing
I already
suit.
told you guys, I'm
Don't
not
you
going
put
in
on.
it.
Jump in, all right, very good.
I'm not gonna do it in just a bathing suit. What do you put?
I wore an actual suit.
I know.
Because I went there not knowing I was gonna do it, but then my son backed out and my daughter was doing it and she wouldn't do it alone, so I went in, I took my jacket off, but I went into my suit because I was there dressed up like the
Wow.
mayor for an event.
If you could just.
And
go
then
buy
last year
your suit.
I wore more appropriate clothing to go into
Like,
the water.
that's
Well, I think I
so-
had a bathing suit and a t-shirt and
Will
stuff.
there be a?
Underneath
That's the thing. I'm gonna have like a wetsuit.
Oh, they do have, I think they do have paramedics standing by, Joe.
The like welly.
On a cold day, it is a shock to the system.
With those, because my clothes would stay dry.
Yeah,
All right.
a wetsuit.
No, I don't like it.
All in favor of approving this with the amendment that Joe Carlin's gonna jump in the water?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries
By the
unanimously.
way, that's the first day of my retirement. So
Is that right?
Oh,
Is that really?
way to celebrate.
I hope.
What do we-
By the way, that's, you know what, maybe we should do it. That's just too much of a, no, it's just too much of a sad story if like something happens. It's very cool.
Say that. Nothing's gonna happen.
7.9,
Let's have a great time.
2025-196 to approve, oh, we did this,
We
we did this?
did that
We
one,
did
we're
that
at
one?
7.10.
We're at 7.10. Resolution to approve application from Abad for installation of menorah exhibit at Hezekiah Easter Veteran Square. May I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
This is going to be on what day? Oh, it's getting put up on
The
December.
14th.
And then there's gonna be a day when they do the lighting, but we don't have to approve the lighting day, we just have to approve the installation in
And
the
the whole
public
time,
space.
so the 14th to the 22nd. I guess.
Yes.
Any comments or questions? All right,
Do the
I
second.
don't have a comment, I mean, I do have a comment. I need one of those big candles for Hanukkah,
a menorah,
or
Menorah.
Oh, for Kwanzaa?
for Kwanzaa.
Oh.
That's not called.
sure. Oh, I see, you're asking for an additional.
Yes.
An additional, well, let's pursue that, let's pursue that, we can approve it, we don't have to wait for the next meeting to, well, I guess December 1st would be early enough to do it, if we got somebody who wants to make the application, haven't we had that before?
Not for
We
Kwanzaa.
haven't.
No, we don't
Okay,
really.
I won't-
Well, then let's absolutely go.
Natalie, we did talk about it last year, but we did not find.
Well, I found, but it was just in Chicago.
Yeah, oh, yeah, so now we really got it.
Road trip.
So we did have an installation, it just was in
I like
Chicago,
Chicago.
I haven't seen it in Chicago.
I like Chicago.
It's like Brooklyn still has the Dodgers, they just play in LA. All right, so let's approve this, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. The next one, 2025-198, a motion to approve an application for the installation of a creche.
Fresh.
Creche, I should know that, being
You
like
belong
20
to the
years of
Knights.
Catholic,
Yeah.
20 years of Catholic school.
That's disappointing.
Well, it's the manger, that's the way
That's
we
right,
always
thank
call
you,
the
Val.
manger. For the Christmas season at Easter Veteran Square, can I get this on the table?
Motion.
So this is another installation there. We absolutely should have one for Kwanzaa, so let's make sure
Yep.
we get that done.
Absolutely.
Let's follow up about that. In the meantime, thanks for the Knights of Columbus, and also thanks to Bod for putting up the menorah, and thanks to the Knights of Columbus for putting up the
The crush.
manger and the various other things. And all in favor?
Real Catholics call it the crash eye.
Right. Crochet. It's a crochet.
Oh,
We're fancy Catholics. Us fancy Catholics. There is in my book. All right, we're done with resolutions.
Mayor, I have three,
Oh, there's three additional. Yeah.
three small event
Okay.
approvals I
right,
was like
yeah.
do verbally with you.
Okay.
Do you mind? One is the closure of Jackson Avenue on December 5th.
Mhm.
For the Pride Center's night market. They're gonna
Okay.
have 2 food trucks. And they're gonna try to get the fire department to help them have some heat barrel, kind of burn barrel type things. We'll see if that works out. I've offered my propane heater to them if they're interested. But that's a street closure, so that's one of them. Do you wanna vote these separately or you?
Oh, let's do that separately. Motion for street closure for Jackson Avenue during the Pride Night Market.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
The other one is 2 annual events at the senior center,
Sorry.
which typically the board has approved, usually the bigger things I bring to you.
Mhm.
One of them is a Christmas dinner on December 26th that Carl Dubison organized. He's done a wonderful job with it. He works really well with Meals on Wheels. And I would encourage the village board to support that event.
December 6th.
No, December 26th.
26th,
It's a
26th, yeah.
Christmas dinner. For maybe 15, 20 people, something like that.
Okay, all in favor? Can I get a motion to approve this?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries
And
unanimously.
lastly is a Christmas breakfast that Chris Burns and Tom Burns have been organizing, kind of been carrying on Bert Hughes's tradition
That's
of many years,
fantastic.
which would take place on the morning of December 25th. That day, Meals on Wheels is not using the facility, so there's no conflict.
All right, well, that's one too many Christmas events for me. I don't know if I can support this.
You gotta go to all. Good man.
I'm just teasing. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes, we're all in favor of this. Just a joke. They could still recall me, I think, if I were to vote down something like that. All right, let's get, so we got, those are all three? We got those approved?
Rolling, yep.
All right, let's go. Department reports. I've got a promise that I've got to keep to Dennis and about our timing. Orangetown Police Department, we didn't have our meeting. We had it postponed twice. We'll get to it. I did want to say that we did have a very nice comment made by a woman named Dory Horowitz on Facebook, who said that she's noticed a difference in the last few weeks on the corridor down, I think it's the corridor around Park and Main. And she noticed it and then chimed in were Mike Metzger, who owns the Thai place on Park, as well as Tom Lynch, who does double duty of running Castle del Sol and also our water department, which not many people know that he does.
I
both.
didn't know.
I'm just.
That's a different
It's-
time.
It's not the same.
It's two different guys. But you want to know the truth? My wife, until a week ago, thought it was the same guy. She said, "Oh, he's gonna have more time to work on the water." I'm like, "They're two different Tom Lynches."
In fairness, I feel like we do have like a little surplus of Tom Lynch's in Nyack.
So since then, I've been sending her Tom Lynch's I find on Wikipedia and sending him her link and saying, "Look, he's also a poet." That's been a lot of fun.
Once sold Casa, didn't he?
He had sold costumes to some of the people that work there, and he's gonna be.
Which I
he's gonna
think
be
is fabulous.
But he echoed what Dory had said, as did Mike, about things having gotten better, which I think and there was a lot of positive commentary to that effect, which is very good to hear. And it's what's nice about it, we could say, well, we also have the safety patrol going around, but it's really, the OPD has definitely been more present. I've seen them on the streets more in the last few weeks than I did for the 6 months previous. They've had the cars parked, they've had people walking the beat, and I think it really does make a difference. And I'm really gratified. I want to thank Chief Butterworth and I want to thank Captain Shannon and everybody involved for getting some more attention. It's obviously the problem isn't done. There's always going to be issues, but it definitely is. It feels better than it was, say, a few months ago, which is good. And we are working with them on scheduling your meetings, probably after the new year, but we'll get them on the schedule
Okay.
for the meetings with the captain. I got to get some sort of scheduler out. Anything else about the police, Andy? They did keep us informed about what was going on with the issue on Midland. They kept us informed, and we tried to tamp down speculation while it was happening with public comments that acknowledged that something had happened and trying to get people to slow their roll on.
They were all over the place.
Yeah, and when there was the issue on Midland,
Yes.
the right situation, but well, people are all speculating when they see the SWAT team pull up and the cops pull up, and then there's a lot of misinformation that flows around. So, our job there is, our job there is to just defer to the police and it's a police issue, let the police issue the statements, and we just, whatever we get from them, we get out to the public, which is what we did. So I want to thank them for that as well. A very difficult situation with that. Village attorney. I have nothing. Nothing, no report. Village clerk,
Nothing.
for once, she's not gonna talk our ear off with her report. Village administrator, what do you got?
Just want to do a couple of mentions. One is that we did receive notice that we are gonna get funding from CDBG for the Kilby Street sidewalk project.
Awesome.
Kilby Street, it'll give people who live on Upper Depew
Oh, yeah,
or when I get to Tahoe Boys,
yes,
back and forth,
yeah.
safe pedestrian passage there. So excited about that. Improvements to that street are much needed.
Can you talk to the traffic engineer again about at the top of Kilby Street? There's enough room for two cars, one to be in a left lane to make a left turn, another right, make a right.
It's definitely a design question that is on the table, really for our Safe Routes to School sidewalk project. They're
Okay.
gonna get there first.
So maybe coordinate that, with, I don't know, it's something that should happen because I've seen, and other people have told me they've seen people in the left lane.
I wanna let you know that the first take on that is that it's, especially for the pedestrian side, it's unsafe to try to have two lanes there. One lane is safer for cars and
This is
people
where?
to get through that intersection.
Kilby.
So I don't think that the designers are gonna support the idea of having cars go side by side to that
And at
intersection.
least there'll be, the side markings, make it as, like a one lane, even
Right,
though it's wider.
that will be part of the striping and
Striping.
the sidewalk would be part of the same
Okay.
project, yeah.
Okay.
So we might
Excellent.
need drainage over there depending on how that system works, so we'll see. But anyways, great to have that money. We have kind of a steady drumbeat of capital projects in the village, which is a whole sort of section of what we do. We've got that, we already got notification about the senior center. We have a big project coming up for the senior center, a roof, HVAC system, window improvements, some carpentry, doorways, flooring, things like that to kind of make it nicer. I wanted to remind the board the Nyack Tourism Grant application has been open now for a few weeks. It's due on November 21st. And it's coming up pretty soon. Thomas Schneck is receiving applications and coaching and so on.
Okay, a comment about that, actually two comments. Is it proper for the Quarter Millennial Committee to apply for a tourism grant for things like banners and
No, I don't think you need to. I think what they should come up with a budget, it should be paid direct from the village, but we can pay it out of the tourism grant funds.
Okay,
Because it is a tourism issue, but it doesn't have to go through the grant
okay,
process.
so,
Because that's us doing things, we don't go to the tourism grant to promote the 4th of July, that's our thing.
okay, the other thing is.
There might be businesses that have special projects associated with 250th who might be looking to
Sure.
help
Also might
outside
be
the
state
special
funding
events they're
essentially.
running.
Yeah, well, that's what they would go to
Yeah.
they would definitely go for the
Yeah.
tourism grant.
It'd be nice if some people did do that.
Also, I was told that it was on the village website, the application. I can't, I went through the, unless I'm blind. I went through I couldn't find it.
All I can say is we can look it up now, but Tomas has been promoting this thing for a couple of weeks now. And
Okay,
nobody's come to us and said
okay.
it wasn't there, so.
Just like I
Yeah.
said,
But we should look and see. I mean, if somebody doesn't see it's there, we should make sure it's there.
I was told it was hosted by the village website.
it definitely is there, but it's,
It shouldn't be hidden. It should be right in front, no?
yeah. I'm trying to think of where it would be in a logic. I'm looking at the website right now. Good. Anything else, Andy?
You already mentioned the local planning committee finishing up its work, I think. The Helping Hands food truck has been on Tuesdays on Depew Avenue. They said they've basically given away all the food they brought with them. They're very happy with it. They're gonna continue that for another couple of weeks. As far as I know, I'm not sure how long they can go for, but they're asking for a couple more weeks, so.
They're really great. I just went to the truck the other night because it was there. And so I asked the time. They said that they're there from 2 to 7 on Tuesdays.
Nice.
And everything was hot. And I was just introducing myself and they're like, would you like some food? I said, thank you, but I don't need it, thank God, but that's a really good thing.
We thank her for for what they're doing, for sure.
While we're on that subject, I thought of something. I mean, being that a lot of people are struggling and stuff, do we have a list somewhere where people can get food? Like, for example, we know the Soup Angels is on Wednesday. These guys are here temporarily on Tuesday. Is there other places in the village? I know there's food pantries, but is there any
There has
place?
a billboard out front. It's rather old and faded. I don't know if it's still accurate, but there's some group that periodically puts together a list of the active food pantries and soup kitchens and so on. And I'm happy to post an updated version of that if
Okay,
somebody has one. I'm not sure who did.
well, I'll
Also, if you
start.
Go into the Nyack Center, you can grab something from the fridge whenever it's full.
Yeah, I know, but I'd like to just have something, so maybe that's a thing that I'll spearhead in all my free time, but I just feel like there should be something so that everybody knows where I'm getting calls from people about food insecurity and not having it and stuff like that. So I just felt like if we had a place, or if I could say, or they could go and see, oh, on these days.
Yeah,
So
that, there is a version of that on the bulletin board in front of Village Hall. I
I'm
just-
gonna
I
look
don't
at it
know
and see if it's,
accurate.
Can you
Yeah.
put it on the website?
Sure.
and I'm gonna start looking around and see days. You're Mr. About Town, so if you have any information to share with me, that would be great. And then we can compile an updated list, and I would really, really like to do that.
That'd be great.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Yeah.
Is it finished?
Andy, you
Yeah,
done?
Andy, do you have more?
Unless the board has questions or.
Yeah, I have some questions.
And I do too.
The shoreline reconstruction project, has that been finalized? I know that we're talking about the furniture and there's.
So are you talking about the shoreline path project?
Shoreline path, yes.
Yeah, the design is essentially finished. There's a little bit of back and forth. I think that's some details related to
The furniture.
what kind of furniture, specific design for bench, something like that.
When do we start? What is it gonna be? Will the construction commence?
You'll know that when you award a contract for construction.
Okay,
So they're gonna start working on the contracts soon. The
okay,
other thing we need to work on is the sponsorship program for paying for the benches and trees.
okay,
So Anne Marie and I are gonna work together to create kind of a template for that, pricing structure. And it's sort of a map that shows if you wanna kind of fund a commemorative bench, what sort of a plaque you'll get and be in the park. So that we're gonna put that together. I would bring that to the Parks Conservancy as a partnership.
okay. And maybe also the Parks Commission?
Right, I mean, the Parks Conservancy can receive money, which is,
So they receive the money and they're the ones they're the 501.
right. So I'll bring the plan to this board for review.
Okay, what is the timeline? Will it be finished by July 3rd?
I certainly hope so, but I can't guarantee that. We'll track it very closely because it goes through
Yeah,
the bidding process and we'll prioritize moving as quickly as we possibly can.
okay, or at least there'd be a situation on July 3rd that it'll be accessible. If not finished.
Yeah, one way or another, you're gonna have a lot of people down there,
No, no.
putting up fireworks for sure.
No.
Are all the benches gonna be installed,
That we don't need, but we do need the work, the construction works have been done.
Right. Yeah,
I don't want fences up for
The
the,
civil engineering work really can go, it's cold weather suitable work, just like I have it, so.
Okay, when will, and you're working on the bid documents, when will that be finished? When will we vote on it?
I'm gonna have to give you a timeline, Joe, I don't have it in memory. But I know that the engineers have provided us with information, expectations as far as the timing of the bidding process.
Okay,
And then when construction was started, through order of operation on that, so.
okay, I'm invested in that.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and the mayor's expressed the importance of having, a clear path for the July 4th many
Right.
times, so.
Okay, thank you.
Priority.
Okay, and I have a very quick question. I have two quick questions. The first one being, when are we having another parking authority meeting?
oh. Probably January, we'll do it in January.
First meeting in January.
Okay, so we'll have that, and when we have our next one, can we have someone from the parking authority be present, like Matt, maybe, because I know he has a lot?
Certainly.
And then the other quick thing, and then I'll be quiet for the time being, is Could we have a 5-minute executive session? I just wanna like ask a very quick question that I've been wanting to ask for a long time.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, the old business, the rat control, we have any updates or is things just going on?
We're.
They're inside.
They are.
Trying to work on it, yeah, there are rats,
There are rats.
many of them are dead. The building department, myself and our carting partner meet regularly. We met earlier this week. And we're kind of going block by block. We've got a lot of good help from Michelle Whalen, who owns a couple of buildings in the village, thinking about where to put containers, because that's the problem. Required people to use containers results in a lot of issues around where you store containers, where you put them out, and so on. So we're looking at each building and trying to come up with solutions where there are challenges. And that's kind of the level where it's very granular right now, kind of going block by block, working with Carlo Menudo, who knows the village very well, and building owners, and trying to make sure that every single one of them has a plan that sort of meets the needs of the village for sanitation.
Okay.
I remember my other.
Yes, good.
So at my age. Gas leaf blowers. So I've had complaints. And I've actually myself gone and taken pictures, and I've worked with Andy and Manny to basically cite the company and the occupants of the home. And I know that Andy, you received today from a resident on 6th Avenue, and I got yelled at. That the village is not doing anything and whatever.
It's not
And well, I found out that that the inspector of the code enforcer did visit and did cite them. So I want to commend the your action and also the code enforcer's action of doing it. And the person that had complained to me and yelled at me, I called them back and said, you know, it was actually handled. And they said, oh, thank you. And that was it.
Yeah.
So the thank you to me goes to you, basically.
They didn't come to the meeting like the other guy. The other guy came to the meeting.
Yeah.
That was great.
I appreciate that. But further to
Be
that,
careful what you wish for.
but further to that, I know that he sent me the schedule of fine schedule for noise violations, and they go up. So we need to make sure, and maybe this is for Dennis, need to make sure that repeat offenders need to be fined according to the schedule.
Yeah, and they just started, becoming aggressive, I guess, for lack of a better word, assertive in issuing these. The
Yeah.
first slew of gas powered leaf blowers came in a couple of months ago. There was a whole slew of them, then there was a sprinkling of them since, and we've been collecting fines.
Yeah, but there are repeat offenders, and those repeat offenders need to
Right,
escalation in the
They're only
fines.
repeat offenders if they're convicted. So you seeing them more than once on the street doesn't make them a repeat
Oh, I
offender.
know that.
Right,
I
so they
understand.
need to be brought to court, they need to be found guilty or plead guilty. All of them plead guilty unless they don't show up at all.
Okay.
So that counts as a conviction.
Right.
And then when they come back, I'll recognize the name. I'll say, oh, you were here a few months ago or last year, here you are again. So, then we step it up.
Okay, good, thank you.
That's part of the process of prosecutorial mechanism.
Okay, I'm done.
Actually, that same address on 6th Avenue was reported by another landscaper
Oh,
who's
God.
upset that he's using electric ones and the other guy isn't.
So they're like telling on each other.
On 6th Ave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Why don't we try to get at the end of the year, a report on how many citations we issued on it? Total number of fines collected. I mean, wait, so we can do it in January because then we'll have a year end kind of tally. I assume it's very easy to kind of just search for that and find the type of violation.
I
They're just
become the
listening.
conduit of all these complaints, by the way.
I get all the dog poop. I get many text messages of people who find dog poop on the street.
Okay.
If you saw
We
my,
can start finding people for that,
yeah, it's a passion in the act.
that's.
I'm for DNA registry of every single dog, DNA testing.
But, yeah.
Literally, yeah, right.
If we had the manpower, I would absolutely ask for a resolution on that.
All right, next issue, let's talk about the meeting we had, about the social work.
Yes.
So we convened actually Lenny Bloomfield, who works with RCADD, and very closely with Sergeant Palazzolo from Irishtown Police. They're here every Tuesday for a half day doing on the street outreach to anybody who looks like they might need help.
Okay.
Every 2 weeks.
I thought it was
Every
other week.
second Tuesday.
Thank you, Joe. Joe's actually doing this work as well, so we appreciate it.
So it's every second.
Every single week.
Were they Rockland County?
At what time?
Something like that, okay,
Like
okay.
9
Yeah,
to
usually in
12
the
or,
afternoon.
oh, in the afternoon?
So community case, Lenny brought his supervisor and another colleague from the RCADD organization. And let's see, Bill Batson was here from the chamber. And we had a very informative discussion of sort of the status of outreach and services for folks with various challenges, whether it's substance abuse disorders or housing, food insecurity, other kinds of mental health issues and so on. And I think we need to have those kinds of meetings regularly. It helped us, Joe and I, to think a little bit more about what kind of case management sort of service would make sense for the village to fund. I know the board has expressed a desire to fund additional outreach and kind of case management support. And so we discussed with that organization and invited them to make a proposal for how they could use additional funding to do more hours in the village and provide more services. Specifically, hopefully, I think the best way to do it, the library was there. The library director was wonderful. And she says it's not unusual now for libraries to actually have their own social workers because they get such a flow of people coming through looking for help and information and just shelter using their sitting areas and so on, bathrooms. So there's a real sense of the possibility of partnership there, which I'm happy about. And I did reach out to the RCADD supervisor after that meeting and asked her to engage with us more specifically in some kind of proposal for a funded additional outreach case management service. One of the great partnerships that I'd like to see, if Soup Angels would agree to it, I know they're interested, but they have concerns, would be to have an outreach worker at every single dinner at Soup Angels where they're serving 150, 200
It should be
people.
really great.
Many of whom may have the interest of having kind of follow-up conversations with folks who can help them navigate different kinds of services that they might need. I think that would be ideal because there's so many people coming together there. And it's a wonderful environment to meet people and to sort of have people pull aside and have a chance to have private conversations with folks who, if it was a consistent presence, they would be able to get to know each other and
trust
help to
and-
provide
Right,
guidance.
build rapport and
Yeah.
everything, yeah.
And so they expressed interest in that. I don't have a deal on the table yet, but I'm pursuing it on behalf of the village.
It seems like there's a lot less people sort of hanging around, like it seems like they have been placed. It's interesting, like there's some people that look new there. I saw someone I haven't seen in a long time who's back again, but it seems like there's more work being done, like I don't see everybody.
I mean, one thing we can say is that there is a very active outreach program by agencies in the village. You've got Sergeant Palazzolo, you got RCADD, Lenny Bloomfield, you got Catholic Charities, David Jackson, who's here a lot.
I see a
I don't know what other
difference.
agencies are involved, but
I'm
but
seeing
there's
a
lot of that
difference
going on.
inside-
And
outside.
it's variable. I mean, individuals make choices and they move around and sometimes you see them,
Sometimes you don't, yeah.
and they may go in and out of different kinds of housing options, staying with friends, and being out again. And
Also
in
cold.
order not to make assumptions about people, like they're,
And it
if they-
is cold.
And the colder weather.
if they need, his Crystal Warming Center is probably open now, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
get this,
yeah.
we're gonna get the sign up, at the, right outside of, the Angel of Nyack,
Mhm.
it's, the sign.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
will they be doing a presentation to the board on what their proposal is?
You would have to approve the proposal, so yes,
Okay,
yeah.
and, cool, I had another question, but oh, would they also be, because I know we sort of talked about this in terms of, are younger Niagars, will there be any prevention education or anything that they could help with or start or talk with kids on, anything like that?
I mean, the board is free to just try to help scope this service as best we can.
Yeah, we definitely want to do that. That was part of the
Yeah.
deal, so.
Yeah,
But we're gonna come up with a program. This will be an element of it. It could be that we'll ask them, are there good educational
Right.
resources?
yeah,
We used to do that. We actually had a conversation with the superintendent. Cause we used to do a program with the schools.
mhm,
But that came out of funding, and the funding just.
There was a reach out to youth program in the nineties that was
No, it was more recent than that.
Okay.
That
Oh,
they
like
were
SOAR?
talking about.
maybe through 2000.
It might have been so, I don't remember, I
Oh,
don't remember
okay.
what it was called, but it was funded federally and then the funding went up.
We also have the cannabis funds, don't we?
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the cannabis,
yeah,
about
those-
the allocation of cannabis
Yeah.
funds for this, and we are thinking about of funding this social work project. Whatever, however we call it, which will probably involve paying a service that is already providing these kinds of services on the street rather than us starting something from scratch, at least for
Yeah,
right now.
no, but, right,
And we'll budget, I mean, we're gonna come with a proposal, because it's not, we don't have it budgeted now, we don't have a specific budget item for it, but we'll come in and we'll get a budget item for it. That will be about $40,000, because we wanna have it be equivalent to what we're spending on the safety patrol.
no, I agree, I just wasn't sure, cause I know of the, Arcad, am I saying that right?
I guess so.
Yeah, I assume that since this is their like realm of expertise, they also have, like, whoever that person is probably also already trained in doing that education prevention, so that way we're not like spending extra money on that, we're just like within that scope of their proposal.
Oh, okay.
That's more what I
Sure.
meant, can they like, discuss the pros and cons of doing that sort of thing, if you wanna bring them the feedback,
Yeah, well,
or I can bring it whenever the
I
next
think
time we
that-
meet,
I think
yeah,
that, once I have a fish on the line, we'll sort of develop.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
right now, I don't.
and is
I
the
guess
plan
fish
to,
partially on the line.
yeah, no, I got you.
and is
I'm
this
picking
a
up.
plan to do this for a certain amount of time or indefinitely?
Indefinitely. Yeah, have it be a regular thing.
Yeah.
We have because people will still buy cannabis, a lot of people keep buying cannabis, which I think we're pretty safe about. We'll still have the money, and then we'll use part of the money for general funds and part of the money for this. And in fact, we have more than we're talking about spending, so we have other things that we can do with it. We're also doing some rec league sports. That was the other thing we talked about doing. Those have been added to the schedule. We are funding that with the YMCA, and there is a proposal. There was a committee formed to discuss creating it that with all the people that do kind of after school programs, the Nyack Center, Creative Arts, a bunch of other people with the Y. And they're coming up with a proposal to do that. And so we will get that eventually.
Yeah.
So we'll sit down at some point at a meeting, not just at a board meeting. Can we talk about where this money is being allocated, or can we?
We have to talk about it at the board meeting. If we're gonna talk about it, we should talk about it.
Yeah.
at the board meeting, yeah.
Okay.
We can have,
2-on-2 conversation.
we don't have.
Want to.
Yeah, we can send an email about it and have 2-on-2 conversations, but we also. I mean, we have, this is what we're doing. We're updating on the fact that we had this meeting and this is what's in the air, and we're gonna firm up something with them and then have a proposal, and then we'll come to you with a proposal on what we're actually gonna try to do. But it probably would be going to one of these organizations and paying them to increase their outreach within the village on top of what they're already doing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Okay. But yes, nothing will happen. No, not a dollar will be spent without the board having input and making a vote on it.
And I guess whenever you meet with these groups, I'm assuming you'd want to be a part of those conversations, Donna.
Well, I just sometimes I just feel like I'm not quite sure what's going on. Always like there's conversations going on.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to just kind of, know a little more.
That's, well, we should talk offline.
Yeah.
And we've been meaning to do that, you and I, because the problem is that sunshine laws, we can't have a meeting outside of this forum to discuss anything specific, any policy details, which is exactly what this would be. But we can certainly do it here, and we do have a relative amount of privacy other than the owl. We don't get, unless there's cannabis on the menu, we don't get a huge turnout.
I mean, look, it's not a
Or
Greenberg,
PBRs.
their workshops and they
Uh,
have.
also-
Workshops, so you can do the same.
Because
if
we
you
don't
wanted
do
to.
workshops, yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely welcome to call me anytime.
Cool.
I'll do my best to update you.
Okay.
Yeah, we know, I mean, I remember being a trustee and walking in and Don had a whole bunch of things ready to go that I was like, what are we doing? Because like, that's just the way it sometimes works. But we got, I'm sorry if we sometimes feels like the cake's already baked when we present it to you, because you should have you should have
I
input
like
instead of
that
baking the
term,
cake.
and that's it.
That's kind of what you feel, yeah, you wanna be able to taste the batter before we put it in the oven. I think I like my analogy is going very well. That was a good analogy. Write that down. We'll use that again. Hill, I don't wanna die on, and make sure we have input into the cake. We taste the batter before we put it in the oven. All right,
Okay.
so that's A2. A3, we have had someone pitch us on putting a fitness park in the park, which would be those little stations of like a pull up and then a sit up thing and then this. But it's a proposal without, no one's coming to us with funding for it. They're just saying we should do it, which is a little bit tougher. It's something that we can talk about with
Offering to help raise money.
help raise money. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk to, I'm gonna talk to our supervisor, Teresa Kenny, because they have that in the Orangetown Park, and I just want to see what they
The
could
little
do.
park is
Go look
there.
at the little
Yeah,
new
so,
equipment over in Depot
Yeah.
Park.
Oh, they have it in Depot too.
Right where that little school climber used to be, right kind of north of the west.
So they put in some exercise park
like
there.
three things.
And more or less,
Because I have to see
that
this.
is kind of like what would fit in the spot that we've talked about, kind of between
Yeah,
our
look at
basketball
it.
court
It's
and
just-
the old baseball backstop.
Yeah.
Something, so
deal.
that's the kind of equipment, there's a lot more equipment that's available, dynamic things you paddle and pull and push,
Right.
all sorts of fancy things. And the sky's sort of the
This
limit,
isn't
if
really
you wanna use
fancy,
space
it's
and
good.
money to do that.
Yeah, I gotta
I
go
do
look
think
at
it's,
it.
Yeah,
it's
it's like three
something
things. They'll see it.
worth
Second.
looking at. But, I got a lot of things to do, so.
You have to run this by the Parks Commission.
Of course,
Okay.
yeah, and I did talk with, I think you were actually there. Joe, you wanna tell me the parks talked about it, but whatever.
No,
Yeah,
when you met outside with the guy that,
Right.
the muscle guy, forgot his name.
Max, yeah, he's a fitness.
I'm afraid to say anything, he beat me up,
Part
but,
of the influence, very nice
Yeah,
guy.
watch it.
but the Parks Commission should,
If we actually are interested in doing it, we'll give it to them. Okay, good. We wanna like gauge the aspect of whether there's any interest in it. I would say, to be honest, I think that we take a break on adding something to the park right now. We have a whole big pork project going on the riverfront. There's gonna be a lot of construction going on. There's an old saying in real estate that don't buy too much furniture before you move into the house. Like, get to know the house a little bit before you stick with furniture, because it's gonna change the dynamics of the business of the house.
Don't look at me, I'll never do that.
But the point is, let's not all of a sudden start layering more stuff into the park while we're not even sure what the flow is gonna be like once we redo all that riverfront. So we'll do the riverfront, then we can look at whether that can accommodate
No,
some things. It could be a 2026, 27 project.
I'm okay with that, and I also wanna see how often the one at the park in South Nyack is really getting
Yes.
used, cause I feel like that's close enough in distance to us to really see if this is even something we wanna consider, if it's not gonna get used.
No, these.
Yeah.
It's a very active park, it's a beautiful.
Well, I walk
Right.
there a lot, so I'll definitely keep an eye.
Yeah,
And see if people are using it, 'cause if like it's the old thing, you get a exercise bike and you hang your clothes on it, like you have to use it, actually use
that's
it.
why you go to a spin class, cause I would always do that.
All right,
that's why we have a treadmill. This is a bigger bar.
it's better, yeah, it's better, that's right. That's why I got a bigger oven, so I could store more stuff in it. We talked about the Helping Hands, did we talk about that? 'Cause we had a
Yeah.
conversation about it. The downtown holiday programming, I'll send you all a memo, but basically, we're gonna do some of the things that we did last year. We're gonna have a decorating contest for the businesses, one for the houses. We are doing a movie event 3 Saturdays at Nyack Center. It's only gonna be $5. You drop off the kids watch a movie, they do some crafts, they eat some popcorn, and then you go do some shopping, then pick them up afterwards. Last year we based that on a crafts theme, and it didn't get a lot of interest until we shifted in the middle to movies, and then we got more people coming. So I think the movies are a bigger draw than the idea of sitting and doing crafts for 3 hours. The movie fills up today.
That wasn't a big draw there?
Santa was a
Oh, yeah.
very
with
good draw.
Santa. Yeah,
Santa's a very good
picture
draw.
with Santa.
We have the time frame for that, like, how much time to give parents to drop off their kids?
Saturday 12 to 4. All
Oh,
Saturdays 12 to 4.
Yeah, that happened last year. How was that? Did that work out well?
It didn't work well last year because
Right.
and precisely because we didn't, I think there wasn't much of a draw to get to, for people don't want to drop their kids off to do 3 hours of crafts. But when we shifted about halfway through to movies,
Mhm.
we started advertising that we're doing movies, we picked up the slack a little bit. We also were priced it higher last year. We're just gonna price it low and try to we want people to do it because we want them to go shopping.
Right.
And so we want them to drop off the kids and go shopping. So we're not pricing it to make money. We're not pricing it even to cover the cost. This is all coming out of tourism money that, well, we're not gonna lose that much. It'll be basically a break, hopefully a break even. And it's helping the Nyack Center. The Nyack Center is putting their people to work. And I mean, it's all like Nyack Center people. So these are all people used to watching kids and taking care of kids and all that kind of thing. So we got that. We got the thing. We're going to be putting out another event guide just for the holidays, the event guides that we've done for the last 2 seasons. So that will collect all the events that are going on. We're really trying to beat the bushes for if there's anything going on. So if you're involved in any organization that's doing an event for the holidays, there's a lot of music events that take place at the churches, and I want to make sure we get those in the calendar. I want to make particularly music events. People love those kinds of things. So that's that. Communications.
I don't think I have anything.
All right, and then another chance for public comment. Going once. All right, and then
Wait, there's a hand.
Yes.
there's a hand. Oh, okay, here he is.
so it's like, oh, we gotta take her.
Now we can hear you from here.
Say you for
Just speak up.
I'll speak on behalf of the chamber and Kata and say thank you for passing the dates. I think it's been a solid year of collaboration between these organizations and the village, and we're looking forward to further collaboration. And so thank you for your support. And obviously, we're all ears, so we're always welcome to have a conversation. So
Thank you both for
Thank
being here.
you.
Thank you, Jack, for always coming to our
Thank you.
meetings. It's nice to see somebody who's keeping us honest.
He has a
We
big
appreciate
club,
that.
So.
He has a big stick, that's true.
And one last thing, just a kudos to you guys. It's, nationally and locally a difficult time for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And thank you as a community member for, the Helping Hands truck, the different food services and promoting that for those in need. And there's never an easy time for food insecurity, but especially during the holidays, it's a difficult time. So thank you for taking care of those that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tristan.
It occurs to me, we haven't had a meeting since we did the big, for the SNAP, shop.
that's great.
And I want to, for the record, just thank, everybody who came out that we did, was like 5,000 pounds of food that we.
Oh, that was
That we
really
got
great.
donated in like a 3-hour period on a Saturday, and we announced on a Thursday for a Saturday, and people came out. It was great, and Diane Saratori from People to People was just absolutely wonderful, and just was great, and everybody participated, and they were great. NAACP helped out as well, and so I want to thank Nikki Hines for that. So that, yeah, for the record, I should have mentioned at the top. I forgot. It now feels like it was a million years ago, but it was like a week and a half ago.
So much happened.
All right, we're going to go into executive session. When we get out of the executive session, we will not take any business other than to adjourn. And we'll adjourn the meeting in the memory of, that's actually, we should adjourn in the name of Terry Hacker. We'll adjourn in the name of Terry Hacker and also Anita Lamb Wright, who passed away in the Midland Avenue. But Terry, the Terry Hacker, and I don't know if we had a meeting. Have we had a meeting since she?
I thought we did the first time, we did a moment of silence for her.
I think we did. We did do a moment of silence. So we'll adjourn her, both of their honors. When we adjourn, we won't take any action after we get back, but we are gonna, can I get a motion to go into public,